Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. If you got time to watch the sports show today, let me do some back end work real quick. I hope you've been able to watch the podcast, the Thinking Game podcast. I hope you've been able to check out the channel on YouTube. But today's sports show, we got to talk about the Colorado game. As I told you, I'm rolling with Coach Prime, win, lose, or draw. Watched the game, came on like around 1 o'clock today, but we just family time was doing a lot of running around, so I had to wait till we could get settled in. So we was able to do that today, and pretty much what we're gonna do is talk about the Colorado game a little bit. Maybe talk about some other sports stuff too if I got time. But I want to start off with, of course, if you watch the score, they lost the game, but that's all good. Actually was a good game, but I think right now they're going through the growing pains of just growing into another team, pretty much. I think at this point they're probably looking at the holes that need to be filled and people that's probably going to be replaced. That's just the reality of it. Everybody you see playing now may not be playing there next year. I can promise you that. Um, some of those offensive linemen, they're not gonna make it back. Man, some defensive players not gonna make it back. I really think linebackers are gonna be very important for them to get if they can get their hands on some. Linebackers are gonna be very important. I mean, Woods is doing good as a middle linebacker, but he can only cover so much ground. Some of those outside linebackers, like they should be D ends. They're good at rushing the quarterback, but they're not all around. They're good at rushing, but they're not good at run stopping. Arizona got a bunch of run yards, running plays against them. I mean, big plays. And when you don't have those LBs to fill those gaps, when the D line kind of seal that line off, their running back get past that second level is always a big play. It's going to happen like that every time. So, what I would say is they did the best they could with what they have this year, but I would definitely expect them to make some dramatic changes after this season. They just right now, they just seeing who's gonna make it, who's not gonna make it. I can promise you that. When you think about Travis Hunter is back. He's got his legs back up under him. Man, he making plays. He's playing both ways. He's making plays both ways. He could have had 2 picks. I don't know if he got a pick this game. I wasn't sure, but he got a bunch of breakups and stuff like that. And man, shout out to Travis Hunter, man. He balling right now. I got none but respect and love for Travis Hunter. He balling, man, going both ways. I mean, most dudes wish they can go both ways. If you're watching, let me know in the comments what you think about Travis Hunter. Shador, he played a whole lot better, even though they weren't protecting him. He still kind of scrambled a little bit more, tried to avoid some hits, but some of them he couldn't avoid. But he played a whole lot better. I think if the defense was a little bit more, I don't know, I want to say aggressive, but it was a little bit more methodical in thinking. Um, I don't know if it's thinking or is it talent. I think it may be more talent than thinking because sometimes you can know what the team gonna do, but if your talent don't have the wherewithal to get there and make the play, it don't matter what you think. You still got to be able to make the play. And they had a bunch of big runs. Arizona did. So excuse me, a little bit tired. It's been a long day, guys. So the run defense was an issue on the day. Passing was okay, but run defense was definitely an issue. Um, I think they really gassed them on running plays than they did passing plays. Passing plays, they played pretty decent. Secondary, pretty decent. But they had a tall receiver, number 4. I can't remember the guy's name. He was really out there run. making some plays. Tall receiver, like 6'4" or something like that. They had some really big corners too. That's what I like about Arizona too. They always have some big corners. I think the one had a corner that was like 6'4", and it wasn't that he was fast, but his range, well, when you 6'4", 6", you have a more range that the quarterback has to try to throw around, kind of like Spider-Man out there. But shout out to the Arizona TBs. Like Colorado was playing a zone defense, so the quarterback was able to throw in between the zones, the spots, because of the talent level. You really got to have good talent to play a solid zone defense. Like think about the Seahawks when they was running that cover 3 zone with Cam Chancellor, excuse me, Earl Thomas, and Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, and what's my other guy name? Um, okay, his name escaped me right now. It's on the tip of my tongue. Sherman. I don't know. I'm trying to think who the other corner, but when you have solid talent, you can run a zone. It's hard to stop a zone. But when you don't, it's gonna be holes, gonna be weak links in his zone. They're gonna find it. A good quarterback gonna find it. So understanding why you don't want your opponents to have big plays. You want them to drive the field in order for them to score. There was a couple of key plays in this game where the running back had like some really big runs and he got in the goal line, like in the red zone. And I think he started from like the 40 or 50-yard line, something like that. You have to not allow those big run plays. Let them get 3 or 5 yards of play, but you cannot give up 20-yard runs, 30-yard runs. Only thing you're gonna do is let that running back get the momentum and tire your D line down. Like they had to, if they would have stopped them a couple of times from making them big plays, they probably would have won that game. Because shootouts are not fun. Because when you get into shootouts, one little thing can make the difference and you'll lose the game. I promise you, every time. That's why if I was a coach, I wouldn't like shootouts. I want to outscore you and I want my defense to dominate you. And you're not scoring the same rate as we're scoring, period. But that's my mentality, though. I definitely want to. Their offense was clicking, though. Colorado, even with the protection of gaps or whatever, they still scored. I think it was like 30-some points. I think the score was like 30. And Arizona won on a field goal. But what I want to say is if the 31-34 Arizona. They kicked the field goal to win the game. They ran the clock down. But the defense kept allowing them to score and come back with the run defense, and they gave up a couple of pass interference and penalties. Penalties will always kill you in the game. Always. I don't know if it's the lack of discipline that the players have, or are they not aware of different things like you have an ineligible receiver downfield, like if you go past the 3-yard line as an offensive lineman, unless it's a run play, I think they'll call it every time. You have to have the awareness, defense penalties, roughing the passer. Man, you cannot play those games. If you see that quarterback throw the ball, even if you got a momentum, man, just fall down. It's not worth it, man. Leave it alone, man. Sometimes, man, you feel like you're so close, man, and you go for it, and next thing you know, it's a penalty. You got to have the self-discipline as a team, as an individual to say, I'm not going to put my team in that position. But it seems like when they call a penalty and you see the camera go on the player, it's kind of like he was like, man, I don't care, man. Let's just keep playing. You cannot. You have to prevent penalties at all costs. They will cost you the game when you go back and look. You're giving them more opportunities, or you taking away opportunities with holdings and stuff like that. So penalties, man, will cost you every time. Let me know in the comments what you think so far about the penalties they had in the game. I think they was pretty tough. Also, like, share, and subscribe. Help us grow. We do sports. We do a podcast. The more content to come, but doing homework right now. Maybe when I get done with this semester. But sports and podcasts, Thinking Game Podcast and sports podcast. Let us know in the comments what you think so far. Help us grow. We're about to hit 100 on TikTok subscribers, and I think we're about to hit 100 on Instagram. We're growing organically. I'm not gonna do some trick stuff like go to a click farm or buy views. I don't really get down like that. I'd rather grow organically and just see where it goes. But man, thanks to everybody who watched. Thanks to everybody who follow on TikTok, Instagram, subscribing on Facebook, even YouTube. We appreciate everything. We appreciate everybody that looks at this. Let us know. Give us some feedback. What you would like to see us talk about more. So, my comparison of sports to life before I get ready to close out a couple of things. How hard is it to finish strong in something in life? I think that's the hardest thing, even in sports, is to finish the season strong. It looked like they was gonna win the game. It felt like it, but at the end, you gotta finish strong. That's why I tell the defense, you gotta finish strong. I don't know if it's something, I don't know what it is. I don't know. It just seemed like they just couldn't get that stop. And that's what it's all about some games. It's all about getting that stop, those key stops. And it seemed like they had trouble getting that one stop. Every time they got the momentum, they wrote a big run. And next thing you know, they back in the another first down. And defense just couldn't get that stop. In life, sometimes it's about finishing strong. It's kind of like watching somebody run a race. And instead of running through the finish line, they kind of slow down toward the end. And they always teach you that you got to run through the finish line. Keep running. Don't stop. Don't slow down. Don't let up. Even in football, this is the time, like I say, I always say that in every podcast, this is the time of the season where your body is aching, muscles are hurting, things are not what your stamina probably ain't where you want it to be. And it separates the men from the boys. Because there are people who can will themselves to do things, and there are people who can't will themselves to do things. And when you don't have the people that can will themselves to do things, a lot of times when you get into games like these, it's really hard to capitalize on the game because now you have to really think about how do I win this game. Man, but shout out to Travis Hunter, shout out to Weber, Xavier Woods. Man, they was out there balling, man. That receiver, man, they was out there balling today. They had a good game today. Travis Hunter, man, he's just getting better, man. I hope they can stay one more year. They get some more talent in there because he's doing some good things. He got his legs like he looked like he got his legs back up under him now. But let me know in the comments what you think about Colorado. I know they what they say they 4-6, but they don't have the talent to be like Arizona go 7-3. It's telling you guys gathering up talent in college football is really hard, especially now since the NIL. You got to have a little bit more than the NIL now. But I think next year he's gonna be good though. He's gonna have it next year though. But hey, thanks to everybody who watching this. If you watched this after the live stream, I appreciate you watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, help us grow. We getting there. I just wanted to come through, talk about sports for a little bit, talk about Colorado. I'm rolling with them, win, lose, or draw. I'm rolling. Anything else? Make sure you watch the Thinking Game podcast. Also on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. The channels at the bottom right here. These three right here. Check it out. Make sure to help us follow. Help us get to 100 followers on Twitter. We're trying to grow on Twitter too. If anybody know how to grow on Twitter, let me know in the comments too. I'm trying to figure that out with Twitter. I post a lot of videos, but maybe I need to do more texting or something like that. So let me know. But guys, anybody watches after, thanks for watching. My name's Mike. The channel is CTM, Cortec Media, Corporate Technology Media, and we're based in Little Rock, Arkansas, primarily Southwest. That's where I'm from. Southwest Little Rock, and I'm just the IT guy. That's why it's Corp Tech, IT guy, working in tech, making media, pretty much. So the podcast is about it's not about gossip, it's more about from a thinking standpoint. You pick some stuff that's happening, you try to think through it, like what's the thinking process in this? And that's what the podcast is about. It's a podcast about thinking, about processing and thinking. Um CTM Sports, we just kind of talk about different sports topics. And also, before I get out of here, let me know about what you think about Shannon Sharp. He disagreed with LeBron and said that if he didn't go to the Heat, we wouldn't have been able to gauge how great he was because he wanted the 2 championships and 2 MVPs with the Heat along with his other accolades. LeBron said he would have been great regardless. Shannon said that he wouldn't have been as great or he wouldn't have been able to make the argument if he wouldn't have went to Miami because he learned how to win in Miami. Let me know what you think. I think sometimes it's like a double-edged sword with the media. Sometimes you want all the good takes. You don't want the criticism. You want all good takes. And I think as a human, it's kind of hard. I guess it's kind of hard because you don't know if that person's being fair weather with you or not. But I think as an athlete, though, man, you got to be able to take the criticism, But I think ego sometimes is hard to say that. I know for me, it'd be hard to say that somebody else is better than me. I mean, I have to learn how to do that myself. Oh, my boy Jay came in. Maybe running a little bit longer today. What's up, bro?
What's happening? What's happening? Sorry.
No, you good. You good, man. You good. You good. But yeah, did you get a chance to watch Colorado game? Or you was tied up.
What? Running around like a chicken with my head cut off.
Yeah, I was too. I got to watch a little bit of it. But yeah, they're gonna have to pick somebody. When you 4-6, now you seeing who gonna be there next year, who not gonna be there next year. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what they're thinking about. Who gonna be there next year? Who ain't gonna be there? And I think they need some linebackers though, man. I don't realize. Watching the game, I realize how important linebackers are. You don't realize till you don't got them. Outside linebackers are very important, especially running zone. They're trying to run like a cover 3 zone. Them outside linebackers, you don't got no outside linebackers though. They can throw it right over them every time. They don't got the awareness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. When you got a subpar or a line that's not on the defensive or offensive line, or defensive line that ain't on the level, you're gonna need they linebackers. They gonna have to earn their name. You got to bag them up with a solid core. You can't have limited D line and no real good linebacker play.
Right.
You know what I mean? It puts you in a situation, but it's like you were saying early in the season, that lack of depth on the offensive and the defensive line is going to kind of slowly hit them, wear them down. They were good in the first couple of games, but it's just real football. You know what I mean? Who's going to stay, like you said, who's going to stay after the hype died down and stuff like that, and then counting them out? I mean, this is his first year with the team. You know what I mean? He's already won double the games they won last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for Colorado, this is already a success, plus the money, the hype, everything that goes around him. He's already a success. If he doesn't win another game this year, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I think when you have a bunch of kids, I don't want to say suburban kids, but they got a bunch of suburb kids. You don't got them dogs yet. At this part of the season, this is when your body start hurting. You may not be injured, but your muscles are aching. You know what I'm saying? So this kind of part to separate the men from the boys. Everybody don't got their wheel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so you trying to run fast, but you feel that twinge in your hamstring, man. So you kind of let up a little bit.
That build up of fatigue, soreness, injury, week after week, you have first couple of weeks you can recover almost back to 100% by the game start. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now you starting it's a week 4, you start feeling them hits that you took in a game, the second game. You still kind of they're lingering around. You know what I mean? But there's depth, rest, and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah. Cause man, I think when I'm watching even most college football now, man, like they say, talent, man, you got to get that talent in there, man. If you don't got that talent, man, it's gonna suck, man. Period.
Yeah, talent or depth. You got to have one, or you got to have a lot of people, or you got to have really special people.
Yeah.
That's going on. It's just like anything you do. Commitment, relationship. You got to kind of limit your expectations. Well, adjust your expectations. You know what I mean? Expectations going undefeated. Well, reality, you know what I mean? Every game, every week is almost a struggle. You know what I mean? We're not the favorites anymore. We don't feel like favorites.
And then that's the thing, we start talking about on the podcast, but even in sports, like we talking about relating sports to life, right? How many coaches do that? I wanted to do that. I think college maybe, but do you think they tell you your expectation? In high school, did they tell you what to expect, or you just got there just playing when you was playing DN in high school? Did he give you expectations, or were you just out there playing?
It's a lot of stuff like in my case, but I think I'm gonna talk about me, and I'm talking about in general. So in general, I think when kids go to high school, elementary, everybody can go pro. I mean, everybody's gonna be that guy. I mean, that's what you go. You're thinking in little league, junior high, high school. You're gonna be that guy in the NFL, and then you show up. You're a running back or a quarterback, and they say, "Hey, play DN, play left tackle, or play guard." You know what I mean? And play fullback. Well, I've been a running back all my life, and I know grown men in the NFL have a hard time adjusting positions. That's your first reality, that break of reality. Being put in a position. You've already been a running back. They're trying to tell you to play tight end and things like that. So that's your first taste of kind of limiting your expectations versus reality. You know what I mean? And that's just in high school. You know what I mean? Like, well, I was going to be the next Barry Sanders, and they got me playing left guard. You know what I mean? Because I'm tall, or I'm bigger than a person. That I fit the size scheme, and that's your first dose of reality.
We was in high school, like you didn't really realize if somebody said, "I want to be the next Barry Sanders," but they don't realize how dude is built. People say, "Man, his legs look like tree stumps, man. Literally, his hamstrings look like oak trees, man." And he said, "I want to be like Barry Sanders." He ain't nowhere near that at all. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? And if you don't have the speed, they're just going to put you probably at linebacker. If you have the strength in your legs that Barry Sanders had, but you don't have the speed, you know what I mean? You 6'4".
Was he fast or was he just shifty? He wasn't like.
I mean, look at the tape. Both. In high school, he's probably the fastest and the strongest, like Cedric Cobbs. Being in high school with a person like that, you can't catch. He's bigger than you.
So what speed range? What speed range is fast? Like what? 4.4. I'm talking about not blazing fast, but just fast.
Yeah. No, I mean, you ever like
4.4 to 4.5, something like that.
Me, people really couldn't catch me, and I was like probably low, high, high 4.4, or 4.5. You can't catch these people. Like, it seemed like, oh, he just run a 4.5 or he just run a 4.6, and they get to running around the field, and you can't catch them.
Yeah, people think it's slow because you're trying to judge it off like Michael Vick or something, but they don't realize though 4.5 is still that's like average fast though. It's not like blazing fast, but it's fast.
No, yeah. I mean, if you run a good route, you make a move 4.5 to get you out of there.
Yeah.
But
ask Peter Ward. He run like a 4.7.
Yeah, that's what they said on the clock. But you guys run a 4.5, 4.4, they're gonna burn some people. In high school, if you got that kind of speed, and you got
4.6 is solid. Chris said 4.6 is solid enough. Depending on what position you at. Depending on what position you at, though.
Yeah. You
Like I
know,
said, Peter
and
Ward he
that's
wasn't
a
like
man.
Blake.
That's
Yeah.
a man talking right there. They can run an 800 without sweating. I
Boy.
mean, that was crazy.
He had the Nigerian in his blood, man.
Yeah, King. That's what we used to call him on track. But they just be running. You know what I mean? Not lifting weights to just get out there and run like that.
Man, I had some homeboys, man. They were so cruel. They went to another high school, and they said a dude. He said true. A dude walked to school from where he lived at, and it was so far, man. They used to call him Zimbabwe, man.
I mean, that's high school. That's what it is.
That's a long distance walker. They call him Zimbabwe, man.
He's a long distance walker.
Hey man, who did you think in the NFL you modeled yourself after, even though it wasn't nowhere close? Who did you think you modeled yourself after, man?
You know what? Any speed in
yeah.
Von Curse at end, but I was in the hood. I was a receiver. I mean, couldn't nobody catch me. You know what I mean?
Javon Curse is so good till they got that game film on him, man. He was so
exactly. You know what I mean? But playing receiver, nobody really keep up with me. I'm a short Randy Moss out there. You know what I mean? Nobody, bro, like on that sand lot. But that's another thing. You know, you're a fast guy.
Yeah.
Nobody can catch you in the hood. I know so many running backs. I know a dude had to run a 4.2 in the hood. You know what I mean? Just really never get
the average person only they realize how fast a 4.2 is, man. It's
like when
your brain can't even, if they really get up to 4.2, your brain can't even rest, especially if you can put it on the field, like run routes in like 4.2 speed. Insane, man.
When you clocking somebody and it's like, oh well, that's like 4.1, but my hand's slow. So I couldn't have timed that right. So I'm not. So we'll add another second on there. It was just the stuff you see, but you can't really. Your expectations, getting on the field and what you can do, is different when they put you in a position or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like basketball players. I'm a point guard in the hood. I'm dunking and doing this and that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you really can't see playing time. You don't have no discipline. You don't have no endurance. You know what I mean?
I know for me, playing basketball, I didn't work out like I should. Like the post, like when I think about like working out, like didn't do it at all. Just work. I went to work. I wanted to play two guard though. I didn't want to play center. I think that's what turned me off too. I didn't want to play center at all. But when you like the tallest person, that's where you're gonna be. You ain't got no choice.
And that's that's the basketball equivalent of football. Like they're judging your size. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm fast, but I'm 6 foot. Yeah, I'm 6'1" and I'm 180. Like I mean,
sometimes I wish I would have just tried football in high school, but man, like Mondre and all them, I'm like, nah, man, I'm not even. Sometimes I wish I would have tried. Because I would have liked playing DN. I like playing when I played for Dunbar Recreation. I like playing DN, but I was like, nah. And then you got to put so much time into football. I worked after school. I really like having my own money, man. So that kind of factored into it too, huh?
And that's expectations versus reality. Like, you know what I mean? Well, this is gonna pay me millions one day, and then they look at you. You go.
He said Michael trying to revolutionize before Dick. I wish. You know what's crazy though, man? Like playing in the streets, like playing PB football, playing street basketball versus playing in a real game. That's an adjustment in itself. Like referees out there calling the game. Now everything's time versus street ball. You just out there playing. You just playing 21 stuff like that. But in the actual game, it's a little different, man. It's a little more methodical. It's pretty crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, and you just he's 6'5". He's the taller person we got center. Like, you know, like what like that's not your playing. That's not what I play. That's not what I base my game around.
I wasn't good enough to play two guard. I wanted to in my head, but sometimes what you see in your head, that's what I learned about too. Sometimes what you see in your head is not realistic. Yeah. I was talking about relationships. My wife was laughing at me.
It's the same thing. Yeah. And it's hard to kind of what's in your head versus your own expectation is like trying to get them to meet in the middle.
Yeah.
It's like it's some people can't face it today. You know, I was this and I was that, and I'm still this, I'm still that. Some people like if I could even my side, I feel like I can still go out there and run a 4.5 or something like that, bro. I will get out there and run a 5 flat. You know what I mean?
All of your Achilles, both of your Achilles.
I mean? And at best a 5 flat. You know what I mean? And I feel pretty good. I can lift weights. You know what I mean? I can move. I can jump a fence and do all this. Get out there on that clock. You know.
So what did it feel like then when you got back in the day game? Did it feel like that? You feel like say you still go out there and run a 4.3, but you're like, dang.
Yeah, it's like
you know, running 4.3, I'm about to get 4.6 right there.
The body don't look my combine results didn't look right. The body was like, you know what I mean. But I can still talk a little bit. You know what I mean. After my stroke, I ain't had to.
No more double headers. No more double headers.
I can still play. Yeah, I can still play. You know what I mean? So, but not back-to-back nights. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I ain't gonna play.
Back, boy.
I ain't gonna play on Thursday and on Sunday. You know what I mean? Boy. No.
But yeah, man.
But it's the will in your heart. You gotta love for the game.
Yeah. So, do you think people think when you tell them like real expectations is negative, or do you think it's more like
Yes, for sure. Like that's the story of my life. When I break down, like I have a friend that wants to do something, even dating somebody, being married, having family members. They say I want to do this, and I like break it down like, hey, these are the good parts, and these are the bad parts. If I mention the bad parts, I'm being negative. You know what I mean? This and that. I'm story of my life. I'm used to really hearing it. You know what I mean? This is where you are, and this is where you think you are. You know, what I mean? And it's hard for me to hear that sometimes about my production. You know what I mean? Like what I got in my head versus what I'm producing.
Right.
It's not matching up. You know what I mean? And when they say these are my results, I have to understand that's what I'm putting out. That's what they see. And that's what they do.
Cool. Like if we think about sports, if we can relate it to life, if you can keep up with stats and stuff, because sometimes, like say in life, people always remember the stuff that you didn't do, but they don't think about stuff that you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like with Randy Moss. They'll say he this and that, but you don't realize dude was catching touchdowns. But it's like, well, he didn't run out routes. He didn't do none of this stuff. He don't
want to cross the middle. He's in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean?
In the Hall of Fame, run and go routes.
Complete receiver.
Yeah.
You know how many receivers never made it to half his level? You know what I mean? You remember like first round draft picks. You got Mike Williams holding out. You got Charlie Rogers that didn't amount to really anything in the NFL, but they had big names from college to the pros. You got to think about that. And then sometimes we got too many cheerleaders in our own family and us. They remember that good stuff you did way back in the day. Hey man, you were the man. I remember you, man. You did this. You know what I mean? I did something for you personally, but I mean that's not the results that I can bring to my family. What have you done for me lately? Right. What kind of man, what kind of father I am? You know what I mean? I was a good friend to you or a savior to you, but you know what I mean? I can't feed my son. You know what I mean? Right. So sometimes, our cheerleaders kind of keep our legend alive, and sometimes that feeds into our delusion.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, what am I trying to do? Because I was thinking about this when I was driving home, man. Like, I don't think people how sports relate to real life, man. Like, when you think about that D-line and stuff like that, you think about when we was younger, right? In our 20s, man, you be talking to girls. You meet like a group of girls, man. It's like a football game sometimes. You got to get past that D-line, you know what I'm saying? It's always, the friend that's like, it's kind of like the D-line. They like, trying to keep you from scoring, you know what I'm saying? You got to figure out how to get past that part. If we can get past the D-line, you know what I'm saying?
Or even
take care of itself.
And even in the team sport, you own a D-line, right? And we're trying to get the quarterback or whatever. And we running, one of our scheme or whatever. Sometimes you don't get the double team. and he gonna get the one-on-one matchup. You
Right.
know what I mean? And he's supposed to get that sack if he got the one-on-one matchup, and then you end up, Aaron Donald in the situation, split the double team and still make the play. But it's like that. I mean, and it's like that with real life. It's dating, your job, your career. People think you make your money on game day, but if you making it practice with the consistency, going to school, picking the right classes, studying, consistency like that. You know what I mean? It's not all about playing on Sundays or Saturdays. It's what you do, in the gym.
I think now I'm going back to school. Now I'm looking at it from an older perspective. It seemed like in college, like some teachers, not all, I'm gonna say about 65 to 70% of teachers, they want to see, can you make it through the semester, endure the class, and turn some work in. And it seemed like you'll pass. I'm not saying that's the truth, but I'm just saying that's kind of how I be seeing it sometimes. Because some stuff, man, you can't. They know you working and you an adult, especially if you're a non-traditional student. I guess you like working with a family and stuff. It's like they don't expect you to be like a high, performing high like a student that's 18 with no kids, just getting out of high school. But you have to be able to relate it to them so they can understand what situation that you're in too.
Yeah, and then you're right. They got busy work. I mean, I need you to do this like clockwork. I need this on Monday by midnight. I need this, your notebooks and your notes reports on Wednesday, and on Friday you got a test. You make those things every day. All the little jibber jabber in between, we don't care. Just make those little deadlines. Submit your journal. Turn in your classwork on Wednesday. Test on Friday, and that's it. You know what I mean? Talk to you. They just want you to make those little deadlines, make those things. So what is busy work? That's what you're here for. You know what I mean? So.
Now that we were talking about expectations a few minutes ago. I started a podcast. When you think about dealing with like the male and female stuff, it seems like it's a sport, right? Where I was saying that like a lot of times, how many women did you meet when you was younger actually told you about what they expected? Did they even talk about that at all?
I talk a lot, a whole lot.
No, I'm talking about, did they ever say, okay, now that you're talking to me, I expect this? Or was it just like play because they just play? It's like running by the seat of your pants almost.
Yeah, I prefer playing it by ear.
Don't prefer that.
Especially in my younger days. But a lot of the girls that had substance, they kind of had expectations, and they would say things or do things or kind of lead me to where they kind of.
They wouldn't directly tell you though, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, you know what I mean. You got to know what you're working with, and I think the most ones with me, they knew who I was, and it was kind of like, hey, this is what I'm expecting, and this and that. And if I didn't get with the program, they would be gone. You know what I mean? They would say it. It's 3 strikes. You know what I mean? They would kind of nudge it, say it directly, mention it in conversation, nudge, say it directly. If I'm not getting with their program, you know what I mean? They're out of there. So,
check this out. Peel said, I know we don't have no regrets, but do y'all think if we would have been in a different mindset if we didn't go to McClellan? What you think about that?
I don't like to kind of blame the environment, but for sure, McClellan was a different place. We had different problems. You know what I mean? I definitely in my hood, dealing with coaches, dealing with real life. I did a paper round every morning before school. You know what I mean? I went to bed at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning just to get up at 6 or 7. And my situation was different high school and different stuff. It would have been different. You know what I mean? Like me, Nick, we came from Dunbar, and that was a really cold, that was a different type of atmosphere.
Man.
Even though we lived in it, you know what I mean, going to school in it was really different for me. Athletically, I don't know how that would have turned out. Going, somewhere else. I know stuff would have been probably different from Nick, but because Nick would have knocked people unconscious anywhere he went. You know what I mean? He knew everybody, so he knew people on the opposite team, so he can fit in anybody's program and be successful. Maybe he would have been more successful in another program.
Yeah.
But we worked with what we had and we did what we did. You know,
So
I don't really put much thought in. What about you?
watching Marvel, right? I used to like Thanos. I don't know why I like the bad guys, but when I watch Kang the Conqueror, I just think about how crazy, how mental he was. I know for a fact that we would have had a different mindset, but we still would have been doing some things that it's something that's a part of you that is not gonna change no matter what situation you in. Kind of like Kang, like no matter what timeline he on, he go conquer, he go conquer it. And he probably gonna be by himself. He don't take no prisoners. You know what I'm saying? I know for a fact we probably would have had a different mindset, but it would have been probably different kind of resources and stuff, more stuff available. It's just we would have been able to handle the success because going to like living in Southwest or going to McClellan, you didn't realize when you was younger, but we didn't have access to those different people working different fields. You know what I'm saying? To know about the different fields. Like the only thing we know about college is you going to college. We didn't really talk about degree fields and nothing like that. And even if you even got that far, you know what I'm saying? Like, did you take ACT? I didn't take the ACT. Did
Yeah,
you take the
I took the prep and I did okay on ACT. That's really helped me.
See, I didn't think. Yeah.
But like barely making it out of high school for not applying myself. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I just need to get to work.
Yeah.
Maybe if I was in a different environment, I would have had put more stock in higher education. But I gotta accept my own laziness at that point and bad decisions, for my life. I don't think they had nothing to do with the school. Well, it's like he said, mindset. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I think, man, the surroundings affect your mindset more than people want to believe it or not. Your surroundings affect your mindset. It's very few people. It's like a 1 or 2% of people who can outthink their surroundings. You know what I'm saying? Especially at 16, 17 years old. You know what I'm saying? It's really hard to do that because you got to deal with.
You know what I mean? If you got hindsight 2020, you got the 40-year-old me making decisions for the 16-year-old me, I would have been,
no, but even like when we think about back when you were 16, though, there were some people who was really thinking past the mindset, but you got to deal with the peer pressure of everybody looking at you because you're not doing what everybody else doing. You got to be able to think past that. If you don't want to fight, you don't want to be caught up in the bull crap. They're gonna be looking at you a certain way. It's just all kinds of stuff, but everybody's different. You know what I'm saying? And some people just get caught up in it, man. They can't outthink it. It's like it almost it's like getting caught in a spider web. You know how you be walking down the street and there's a web get on your head. Some people just get caught up in there and they can't really get it off of them. You know what I'm saying? So. But yeah, I think we definitely would have been in a different mindset, but it's just all about, your surroundings though. Because even some people, you can put them in a different mindset and they can grow up in the suburbs, but they still have that trait of craziness in them. They're going to do something else. It's just in the suburbs now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, I think even with even with him, with the stuff, he was doing on the track and other stuff like that. With a good, it takes a good adult with a good mentor. Exposing you to different things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sure. That push. We all say we don't need that push. Nobody needs the push. Nobody. The push ain't guaranteed. You know what I mean? But when we do get that push, or if somebody would have had that push, that could have been making that difference in them. You know what I mean? You hear, the Michael Jordans, the LeBrons, everybody had that story, like where that teacher believed in them and they went that extra mile, or they pushed them. You know what I mean? If it's from Emmitt Smith in elementary school or something, every story got, somebody helped, so.
Well, we had no teachers, man,
but and locations and schools and stuff like that, you start to change the people that.
I think the thing too, that changed the mindset. I don't know if Peel's still on, but V, let us know. There were a lot of kids that was. I know if we could go back and do a poll, what you think about 50 to 55% of kids probably helping their parents in high school working, like helping their parents, like literally. Like the money is needed. It ain't optional. No. We you gonna have to go to work. You know what I'm saying? that make a difference on the kid's mindset too, because you don't have the full latitude to think about sports at a full-time capacity because you gotta, help out in other places, you know what I'm saying? So you
Sports, I
can't go
mean,
do the extra workout because it ain't even an option because you got to go to work when you get out of school. I know, but I worked all 3 years of high school, so you know what I'm saying.
like you're talking about sports, you know what I mean? The extracurricular activities, you got to think about like study. Are you going to study extra
Yeah,
hard, or you going to get that
yeah,
shift so you can have something to eat and to have a
right,
place to stay? You can't study
exactly.
if you're hungry. You can't study homeless. You know what I mean? So
That's true.
when it's kind of live or die really on your studying too, like
Yeah,
everything that's not essential for the present sometimes get put on the back burner. Well, you're gonna sacrifice your future for the present. Well, you can't go to school if you're hungry, or if you're hungry or whatever. So
yeah, yeah. But and then do you think if you really think about it from a strategy standpoint, like when we was younger, do you think dating kind of was like football, like playing football? You know what I'm saying? The X's and O's, if there could be such a thing. X's
yeah,
and O's
uh,
of dating, man.
yeah, for sure the X's and O's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
Like a play chart. You got the play chart. Listen, what's the
but
play?
it's kind of like, man, building a dynasty or franchise. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? More so not playing on the field, just picking the right people, asking the right questions, monitoring the right behavior, adjusting accordingly. Like what do you do when you see those red flags, but you really like the person?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Your emotional feelings, like, or you really like them physically, but you see these red flags mentally,
yeah,
genetic. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm gonna give her a chance because she this or that. You know what I mean? We gotta stop that because she got this, because she got that, because she does this thing that I like. I'm gonna still entertain this person that can be toxic to my future. That's men and women. Watch who you choose as a franchise player. You know what I mean? So that can happen in when you're 16. You can get linked up with the wrong person. Y'all can be raising a child together as children. You can marry the wrong person at 35. You know what I mean? Still be in a situation like that. So you got to really scout.
He said I didn't grow up in Southwest at all, so all I knew was South Side, South End. The friends I made there taught me we're more alike than different. And see, that's the thing, right? You grew up in the South End. Don't say we grew up in Southwest. Every little area has their own little thing that they do that they caught up in. You know what I'm saying? Um, being in Southwest, right? Working at BP. Being down at the detail shop. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, VT. Being down there with all them dudes, that straight hustlers. You know what I'm saying? So being around them dudes kind of showed me some stuff that a lot of kids didn't really see. A lot of kids knew about these dudes, but they didn't hang around these dudes. Just like growing up in the South End. That's a whole nother level. Growing up in Highland Park, and growing up in the East End, the brick jungle. That's a whole nother mindset of living. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in 65th, Westgate, you know what I'm saying? You got Wakefield, all that around there, you know what I'm saying? A whole nother mindset, man, you know what I'm saying? And it's hard for a kid to stay positive when a lot of stuff around you is negative. It take a lot, man. It take a lot. Some of them, when they go to college and they get away from me, like, man, you can just see the relief on their face. Like, I don't have to think about if I walk to the gas station, man, is it gonna pop off? You know what I'm saying? If I go to Pick Pack,
Ooh,
if they gonna pop off at Pick Pack, you know what I'm saying? If I go to Bonners, man, somebody gonna get shot in the parking lot. Have you seen what they did with Bonners now?
yeah, it's a gas
It's like a
station.
huge gas station. I had never seen. I just went there one time just out of curiosity. They're like, man, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, Wizards used to me, man. We had a lot of stuff, when we was younger. So
Yeah, yeah. Cause when I was still watching football, now I'll be watching it. I'll be thinking about stuff when I was younger. Like, oh man. Cause when you think about like I said, with expectations, right? We was talking about it, like the strategy of that. If you could go around it when you talking to somebody, they don't mention that. That means, man, anything's possible because they never said anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you don't put it on the table, why should I put it on the table? You know what I'm saying? Now we playing ball for real. You know what I'm saying? But what you think about I was about to say it was something I was thinking about too that was related to sports with dealing with women. Like how many girls are up front with you? Like when you was in your 20s, they were up front with you. Like was there like a thing of are we dating? Are we boyfriend and girlfriend, or are we just hanging out? Do you know that by how things are going, or is it said though? It's never
Well,
said.
I haven't had that many girlfriends, but all of my girlfriends said something.
They did.
You know, every one of them, like, what are we? What we gonna be? Like, what we doing? You know what I mean? They had that. We had that talk. I mean, I remember every conversation they had like that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I remember when my ex-wife asked what we were. You know what I mean? And and every girlfriend, when they asked it, some of them are like been burned in the past, so they lay it out. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna be nobody's acting like nobody's wife before I'm their wife, and this and that. They got their speech, and I'm not gonna do this, and you're not gonna do me like this. Like, oh God, yeah, blah 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 blah. And you either do get in line with it, or you just gotta leave them alone because they've been traumatized already. So that's what they expect. You can man up or go play another team. So girls were pretty upfront with me, and the ones that just kind of wanted to kick it and play, they kicked it and played. You know what I mean? They grown. You know what I mean? They know what they doing.
I never had. Well, I'm not gonna say never, but some girls that I met. But me, I'm real good at playing mental games with people, but and they never say it right out, or they never said it. Like, hey, am I your girlfriend? They never said it. I don't know if I just made the situation that great. You have so much fun with somebody that they forget to mention it. And but before I'm the girl I'm married to now, Ashley, I'm married to now, and then the girl before her. But before that, I didn't really do the girlfriend boyfriend kind of label and nothing like that. It's like, hey, but I never said anything either. It's kind of like being a lawyer. You're like, hey, you don't say nothing, I ain't gonna say nothing. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what I mean. So you never felt the need to lock that down. It's like, hey, I want you to be my woman.
Absolutely not.
You know what I mean? See, so some men, that's the prize. They want to do that. Yeah. I like you so much. I don't want you to go nowhere. I'm going to put that shackle on you. You was like, hey, run free. You do what you do.
I'm like Cain the Conqueror, man. I'm like Cain the Conqueror, man. We get them doing the temp pad. I'm out that thing, man. I'm using the temp pad, man. I'm out that thing. And I think that's the thing, that communication piece. I was talking about in the podcast earlier.
They ask like with me, they ask me, and then you can make the decision on that. It's easy to when you're there, like, are you my girlfriend? Like, you feel like my girlfriend when we're together, right? You know what I mean? That's all. Trust your feelings, trust your heart, or whatever. You can do that. But the nights when y'all not together, like, man, and they want to do what they want to do. It's like, it's me boyfriend and girlfriend because, I'm about to do this and that. You know what I mean? I'm just checking.
I know I was going to ask you. We already talking about sports, right? Recruiting. So, did you know when you were girl, did you know that she will make the team when you see her? You was like, nah, I'm going to give her a trial first. I'm going to give her a fresh shake.
Oh, yeah. I always do trials. I never.
But you never seen a girl be like, I know she not gonna make the team. I give her a trial, but I know she's not gonna make the team.
For sure.
Do you have any anything like, yeah, I know she ain't gonna make the team, but
But they gotta have something to catch my eye or to be interested in, because I'm not gonna kill myself with somebody that has absolutely no potential. But I've definitely been in a situation where it's like, well, I don't think this is gonna work. You know what I mean? This is a very temporary thing. Yeah. And I've already I've seen somebody like, oh wow, they really got potential. But I really didn't date a lot of people that really just didn't have any potential for something. I got a lot of people I met. Maybe we didn't even date. but they were just really good people. They had really potential. So I know them. They're friends. Maybe they got me a job or got me into school or something like that. So the opposite sex ain't always, you know what I mean, just dating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I forged a lot of friendships.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. That's how I know I was like Kane the Conqueror. I didn't. This is like, I'm not even gonna know you in the next 10 years. I should tell myself that all the time. I'm not gonna know this person in the next 10 years. They probably not even gonna remember me. I'm not.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said,
I'm talking about that's me. You don't think like I'm saying that's how I thought. That's how crazy I was, bro. I was like, I'm not gonna know this person in the next 10 years. So why am I, walking on eggshells, or why am I going, play around? Did we come up with this, or did we come up with this at the same time, bro? Like, practice squad. I know this girl not gonna make the team, but I'm going to practice squad, put on a practice squad so I could do things, try things that I wouldn't try with my franchise players. You know what I'm saying? Did we come up with that?
I have no idea.
Huh?
I don't know anything about that.
He said I never been single. I think I may have come up with that in my head, but I was like, because you said a wingman situation, right? Like, hey Mike, man, I need you to wing something for me. We was in our 20s.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? That's fun. I need to,
That's the thing people do, like younger ages. Like everybody's together. Like they go somewhere. They got 6 friends. We go somewhere. We got 6 of our guys with us. But like when you're older, you don't really do that. Like hanging that group of that many people. So you had to kind of talk to women and to group.
You see that? John pleading the fifth. You see that, man? He said John pleading the fifth. But my jersey retired, so I can talk about these things. My jersey is way up in the rafters somewhere. It's way up there somewhere. I'm over it. But yeah, man. Do you think dating, knowing what we know now, do you think dating prepare you for marriage, or you really can't be prepared for marriage? It's something you just have to go through.
It does. It really does. But it can really. I
don't think dating prepare you for marriage.
Well, I mean, any interaction with other human beings compared, or any commitment you embark upon, like school, prepares you for marriage. Working a job long term prepares you for marriage. So how does dating not prepare you for marriage?
Dating shows you more about yourself because you're the common denominator.
And knowing more about yourself prepares you for marriage.
But what I'm saying is, as far as marriage is concerned, though, with dating, when things go crazy, you can just leave. You can just bail, right?
Yes.
You can bail.
But that's one similarity.
In dating, you can deal with somebody and never be intimate with them at all. You can just be dealing with them, but at the same time, it's a fail-safe. I can bail at any time.
Yes.
So marriage is different because you're living with this person and you guys are learning about, and you got to be able to accept the good and the bad of dealing with a person. Dating, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, so it's
dating, you can just deal with somebody with just the good stuff, because when they're not doing it, you're not dealing with them. You can say, nah, you're going to sit on the bench until I get the production back.
So you're focusing, right now, you're focusing on the differences and what doesn't apply in marriage and doesn't apply in dating. But you can do that with anything. I take the parts that help me with marriage.
But you learn about yourself, though. That's what I'm saying. You learn about yourself.
I take everything I learned about myself and apply that to my marriage. You know what I mean? I know what I am and I know what I'm not going to deal with. And
see, that's the thing.
In the dating process of dating your wife, dating my wife, or whatever, you got to know that about yourself. I'm not dealing with this, and I'm not committing to a person that does this. So we will never make it to marriage, and that keeps you out of these situations where you hadn't had sex with your wife in 6 months. She ain't took a bath in 2 weeks. I don't think I can deal with this. You know what I mean? She stank. Or you don't take that.
I'm talking about like just being committed and dealing with a person long term. You don't really do that with dating, like working through situations together. Dating is kind of not like that, but unless you built like that. But I'm saying most time in marriage though, working through a tough situation like a disagreement together to get to the other side.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? Dating, you can just say, I'm not.
It doesn't apply, but it's a lot of things in dating that do apply to marriage. Now you focus on the things that don't apply.
I don't think so. And then if you go into marriage with the mindset that,
now you're saying you're adopting a whole dating mindset into a marriage mindset. Step for step, marriage and dating, you're trying to put them together. No, that wouldn't work. I agree with you. That doesn't work.
Okay.
So some things you can take from it, and some things you like I say, the knowing yourself part. Take that whole piece of knowing yourself and apply it to your marriage. I learned myself in dating, and I'm gonna apply this.
Here's the deal, though. Some of the stuff that you learn from dating may not work in marriage, though, because it's a whole nother dynamic.
Yes, correct. But learning yourself is going to apply. We're going to take just that piece. That may be the only piece we take.
Because think about this. We was talking about with sex or whatever. When you're dating, it may be at a super high. I mean, you scoring touchdowns like Randy Moss. I mean, but in marriage, it may not be like that because you both are working. Then you have kids. You can definitely ain't gonna be like that when you have kids. You trying to score whenever you on a slant route. You trying to score. Yeah, ain't no score. However you can get it, I'll run it in. Yeah, but in dating it's different because you don't have those things holding you back. You know what I'm saying?
But that's when, like, okay, I think about this. So when you're dating, do you like each other more? Because you can have sex like this is a person you only call for sex, you know what I mean? And then you get married, and then you don't want to have sex with the same person you just basically was using primarily for sex.
That's the thing, right? This is the difference between like dating and marriage. Like dating, dudes do that. They're called it just for that. But in marriage,
and then you marry the same person, and you don't want to have sex.
No. That's why if you marry the same person, it'd probably be weird because it's like now you expecting the same expectations when you was dating that you're married. You know what I'm saying? Expectations are different than dating and marriage. You don't think so?
You can't. No, I mean, I'm just talking like. I hate to use a sex thing, but
no, we don't have to use that thing. You can use something that's not you.
But like, you can't expect. It's an unrealistic expectation to expect to have sex with your wife.
No. I'm talking about the frequency. I'm talking about the frequency. Like when you young and you're in your 20s or something, you thinking you're gonna do it every day. To think that you're gonna get married and do it every day when you're married. That's what I'm saying. Unrealistic.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
That's what I'm saying.
Being a leader.
When you're dating, because check this out. When you're dating, you may do it every day, but it may be with somebody different though. It's not gonna be with the same person. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's true for some people, and I understand that. I mean, are you supposed to not want to have sex with your spouse?
No, what I'm saying is when you're married to somebody and everything's combined and you're sharing and you're managing a household, you're not doing that when you're dating. Most of the time when you date, you live in a separate house.
Like, I mean, you sleep in the same bed every night.
When you dating? Are you talking
when you're married? Like, so okay, when you're dating, you can go 3 or 4 days without seeing a person. Yeah. You're telling me you can go 3 to 4 days without seeing somebody, but you can have sex with them more than a person that's
No. What I'm saying is
sleep in the same bed with.
Listen what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you have so much going on when you're married than when you're dating. When you're dating, you're not helping nobody paying bills on themselves. I know I didn't. I'm not helping you managing your bills if I'm dating you, right? That's your responsibility.
So it should be harder dating because you're managing your whole life by yourself, no help.
No, it should be.
No, wait. They're managing their whole life by themselves, no help. Some of them even have kids, but they can find time to be with you, have sex with you, and all this with frequency. Now they're living in your house. You're helping them pay all their bills, and they can't find the time to sleep in the same bed with you.
What I'm saying is, even if y'all had the same mindset that y'all want to, man, when you have married with kids, you have so much. I like playing Street Fighter. You got so much energy in your bar, right? Sometimes you can go through a day and you got that much energy left in your bar. You're gonna waste it,
You
you're
know
not
what?
wasting, but you're gonna burn the rest of the energy. You're gonna go to sleep so you can go to work the next day.
I'm
That's
gonna do
what
a
I'm
double
saying.
header, and I'm gonna struggle. I'm gonna struggle through the day. I'm gonna go for 2.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Dating is a whole other thing. It's different, man. It's a different dynamic, man.
Yeah,
And
I'm
then
gonna go
dealing with a person, like when you're married to a person, being able to accept who they are. Like with dating, you don't really have to accept who a person
no,
are.
I mean, I'm gonna break this down. I'll break the little thing, but you don't have to do that in marriage. People find out they're unhappy. You know what I mean. Traditionally, divorce is not an option, but it is real. This is something that happens to people a lot. You know what I mean. If you feel like you can't take whatever, you know what I mean. Broken homes exist. You know what I mean. Co-parenting exists. Some people, it's not an option. You know what I mean, but it will happen. You know what I mean. So
No, but that's the thing with marriage, though. Like two people, you have to deal with a person as a leader. You have to deal with the person. I'm not saying like you got like a negative thing, but there is when you're the leader of a house, when you're married, not dating, there is that common one. You have to deal with that person. Like I'm not saying it's kind of like football. It's actually like playing football.
and
I'm
you can
telling you,
leave.
it's actually like playing football.
You can be released and you can be traded. Even though you got the franchise tattooed on your arm, y'all want to ring together. You know what I mean? Y'all can be ex-teammates just like you was teammates. But you do have to work a lot of stuff out. You know what I mean?
Yes. You don't have to do that when you date. You don't have to work nothing out when you date. You don't have to work anything out.
Well, I mean, commitment is commitment, right? So if you want something, like if you want a degree, you got to go to school 4 years. You got to go, and ain't no shortcut to it. And it's like that with marriage. It's just stuff. If you don't decide you don't want the marriage, you don't get the degree, you don't get the ring, you can just, it's over. Get divorced, throw it away. But if you want that degree, if you want that successful marriage, you got to still work for it. Anything you want, you got to commit to it. You got to work things out. Things aren't gonna go your way. You know what I mean?
Dating is not a commitment. Dating is not a commitment, right?
I mean, it's the beginning of one. It's starting the process. You know what I mean? You're still a temp. You ain't got no paper signed. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You're on practice squad. You know what I mean? You can work your way up to a position. You know what I mean? Because marriage starts somewhere. Courtship starts somewhere. You can always leave during the courtship process as well. But if we all running away.
Because there are things that, like I say, when you're dealing with another person, like forgiveness and helping each other through certain times, like where I'm weak at, my wife is stronger at. So she compliments me in that. But when you're dating, most time you don't even think about that kind of stuff. Like like my wife's strengths, how do I increase, help her, increase in that, and how does she help me increase in my strengths? We're building towards something. And of course it's not gonna always be peachy green. But when you're dating though, you don't have that commitment. Go ahead.
I mean, how do you get married? Like you're saying you start dating. Dating is step 1, marriage is step 5. All right. So you got to start somewhere.
I think before you get to this person, when you see this woman that you're looking at, you have to do some vetting and see before you even get to date, is this a franchise player, right or wrong?
I mean, how do you know that?
You said what?
How do you know, like before?
How does a college know that this player is worth bringing in for a scholarship?
So recruit, right? So
yes,
dating to me is recruiting.
You said what?
Dating to me is recruiting. I mean, that's my fact finding.
But I think courtship.
I'm not talking to somebody in Facebook.
But courtship, courtship is figuring out this person is ready for marriage. I don't think it's the same thing.
It's the exact same thing to me.
is not to me. Because I've been with a lot, I'm gonna say a lot, I'm gonna give myself away, but been with girls and it was nowhere near courtship. Nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. Matter of fact, I'll tell you.
My step one is the same with everybody.
From 2001, probably until I met my wife in my 20s, no courtship. Wasn't even on my mind. Came to conquer.
I think is my step one is my step one.
Oh, for sure.
Everybody. Because I count in order. I do things in order. I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Everybody do things in order, but before you get to the steps, is this person?
That's your step one.
It's for sure. For sure.
So, that's my step one. So, that's what I'm saying. You get married, marriage is step 5. You have to start at step 1.
Right.
Your step 1 is just different from mine.
That's true. Definitely.
But the step 5 is the same. You know what I mean? Like my brother Nick, his steps is crazy. You know what I mean?
I'll be saying the same thing. You get married with the idea, I'll go through whatever for this person, but if I'm giving with no return, all right, I'll show you. That's funny. I think you have to make sure, does the other person have the same thing? And a lot of times, in my opinion, do people ask that while they're in courtship, or do you find out after you get married that the person not thinking like that? And you
that's a great question. So in courtship, they can stand behind these words and these verses or whatever, and then when you start the game, everybody suit up and stay. People don't do what they say when they get hit. That first hit, you act different than you. The paper said that I'm going to do this, and she right about that. But the paper said I'm going to do this when this happens. So when I get hit, I'm gonna shed the block and I'm gonna keep my head up and my eyes in the backfield. But the hit you harder than you thought, and you want to call a timeout. I quit. I don't want to do this. This ain't me. This ain't. So people react differently when they get hit. So all that stuff they said in courtship.
Yeah.
They said what they was gonna do. Now it's hard.
You want to know the difference though? You want to know the difference? Because everybody get hit hard. But it's about what you agree on. Are we on the same page that watch this. Even if we get hit hard, we both agree on the Bible, even when it's uncomfortable, that this is gonna solve the problem.
We agree a lot of stuff, but when I'm like I've been shot at or been shot around.
Yeah.
People say we're gonna stay together, but when the gunshot is going, everybody running a different way.
Yes. Can you admit that we can identify that though, right?
You think you can? Some shots go off. It's different. I tell my son, I got him. Daddy ain't never left you, never forsake you. I've always been here for you. But when his dog come running at him and he's standing beside me, he gonna try to run or jump, and I'll pick him up and make sure he's all right. But I told him I was gonna be there.
Right.
But it's hard to trust somebody that ain't God, and sometimes it's hard to trust God when you're really scared because you're gonna run. You know what I mean? And old boy didn't want to get out of the boat when Jesus said, "Come here too." So
I think you can identify. But I probably dealt with enough girls where I could kind of see like a lot of times.
Not even women, just people.
Yeah, people, sure.
When they get hard, you gonna go what you know. When you like broke, you gonna like, hey, you gonna make like old woman wife. You know what I mean? She went to OnlyFans. When times got stressful, she went back to what she knew. She agreed to not do all this stuff, but man, I can make a couple $1,000s like that. I'm gonna do what I do.
But I watched Vlad TV interview, right? You know what's interesting? He said that he met her at the after party, right? Went to a Grammy after party or something. He said they hung out and they talk about it, said let's do it. But I wonder, did he have those conversations or were they having so much fun? You gotta have those uncomfortable conversations. I'm
Talk
telling
is-
you, you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they did. But
You
talk
think so?
is cheap. No, talk is cheap. We weren't there. I've had conversations myself.
Right.
Those conversations, it's like, Mike, what you gonna do when you get a concussion? Well, the Bible told me this and this and that. When you get a concussion, everything changed. Like you thought you was gonna be able, hey, I'm gonna do concussion protocol and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this. When you get hit and it shakes you, it's different. You know what I mean? When your soul gets shook, it's different. You're gonna try to go back to the instruction manual, but you lost the ability to read. When I had my stroke, I lost the ability to talk. I didn't account for losing the ability to talk or see. I thought I was gonna do this when it happened, but I never not been able to talk. You know what I mean? Or see or spell or use my hands in a certain way. Now I did use certain skills and tools that I kept my faith and I stayed around.
You use what you condition yourself with, right?
Yeah.
So can you condition yourself with the Bible? Not church, not people. We talking about just the Bible.
Yeah.
Before you get to the concussion, just like in football, they say at some point you're gonna get tired, but then the skills gonna take the foundation. The fundamentals gonna take over. So can you have fundamental from the Bible?
Yes, you can.
And can you identify fundamental? Like when a person plays football, you can say he got fundamentals. There's difference between talent and fundamentals. Like he got the fundamentals down.
Yep.
And that's all I'm saying. Yeah.
And it's easy to stay fundamentally sound when everything's going good. Even when you get tired, you can fall back on your fundamentals and that'll make things easier.
Yeah.
But when that concussion comes, like we all been hit hard, but we ain't never necessarily, not all of us have had a concussion. And those hits are different. And they say, you don't even know which way it's up.
Yeah.
And you're telling me what you're going to do when you don't know which way is up. It's insane trying to say we're going to have a conversation. And when you don't know which way is up, you think about this. Man, I don't even know which way is up. I can't even think right now. And then sometimes we end up judging people when they're in these situations like this. They didn't know it was going. They knew it was going to be hard, but they didn't know it was going to be this hard. That's why God grants us grace. Because you said you was going to do this, but you got hit and you did something different. That's why God grants us grace. And we have to have grace with our partners and things like that.
Right.
As well.
But that's what I'm saying. There are things in the Bible, though, if you actually get hold to, like Proverbs and stuff like that, that the wisdom will help you through those things. You might not have gotten to it yet in life, but the wisdom is there. It just depends on who you want to use it.
I knew I was going to get hit, have a car accident in my life. You know what I mean? But when it happened, it was different.
You said what?
I knew I was going to get in a car accident in my life. I knew it was going to happen. But when it happened, it was different. Sure. I did what I was supposed to do, but it sure felt different than what I read about.
Yeah. I mean, just then, like say, I don't know, maybe something with me, just foresight, man. I've always been big on foresight.
Some things I saw coming.
They're not having a pop. Huh?
Some things I saw coming still felt different when they happened.
It still felt different, but it's like, I don't know, you should think about both scenarios, good and bad, though. You know what I'm saying? Not just one way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, some good, some situations I thought was going, like I'm watching them happen, and the result turned out better, unexpected, but better. Yeah. You know what I mean? Than I thought, and God helped me through with that blessing.
Yeah, I look at it like this, right? Like you think about marriage, right? I don't know what's gonna happen, but I know I'm gonna forgive. You know what I'm saying? Like even like, but dating is maybe different. You be like, if it happens, I'm done. I'm out. Because I'm not tied to you, but when you talking about raising a family and stuff like that, you know, everybody don't think like that. I'm just telling you, like,
but don't mean it's boundaries are healthy. It's okay to say if this happens, I'm not going to be forgiven. I'm going to have to move on from this place, or I'm going to have to do this or that. Boundaries are good and healthy to have, but because God got boundaries as well. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think dating. I don't know. Maybe for me, I'm talking about for me, dating. It didn't prepare me for marriage. I actually had
but
to.
I mean, like, your purpose for dating was completely different than other people. Some people are dating to get married. They're looking for the person they want to marry. You've never dated with a purpose other than dating. You're dating with the purpose of dating.
Because I thought there was two different things, like dating and
Yeah,
marriage.
exactly. So I mean, I'm doing courtship, in the mix of my dating, you know what I mean? Because everybody's got a different selection process, you know what I mean? So this is a part of my selection process. You said, you're dating and you will never get out of the dating bracket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had any person you dated never had any hope of graduating out of that. That's all they had for the rest of, I dated you, that's all we're going to do.
Nope, didn't show me nothing different.
Even if they did, you wasn't open to. This is a position with a cap on it, and you will never let them get out of that cap. You only can go to level 2. You know what I mean? You doing level 5 work on this level 2, but I can't promote you no matter the work you do. But that's you. But I mean, that's always been you. You know what I mean? You got boxes, you know what I mean? Your lunch tray, the food don't touch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can never get out of the main course tray. You can never get out of the side dish tray. And that's fine.
Yeah, I don't like my macaroni and cheese touching the greens. You know,
and that's completely fine. You know what I mean? I don't like that either. I don't like juice touching my bread. But we can put the rice and the chicken together, and you know what I mean.
You see, my wife said you married a goat, and God had to turn me into a sheep. My wife said act like Phil Jackson. That's what my wife said. She said you act like Phil Jackson.
I think you turned him into a sheep and helped him follow God. So thank you for that, Ashley.
No, I don't think I'm a sheep, man. I thought I was, but I think God showed me some different things, man.
Yeah, the more you follow him, the more you're able to lead. So you know what I mean. So,
but yeah, man. Then another thing you think about, like say expectations. Do you think this is a game like? Do people they don't tell you what they expect because they don't want you to tell them what you expect of them? Like if I tell you, Jay, I expect this. Now you can tell me now, Mike, I expect this. Do you people don't talk about it because they don't want somebody to tell them what they expect of them?
Yeah, so they live in their safety. I'm not, having demands or high expectations of you, so you shouldn't have them of me.
Yeah.
But, I'm still got my expectations. You know what I mean? But it's only a problem when you think the person is not going to go with your expectations. If you think they are, you wouldn't have a problem saying, "Hey, I expect this," or "I expect that."
Yeah.
So sometimes you already given a person a certain amount of grace or a certain amount of responsibility. Like, we just dating, but I'm still gonna protect you when we out. You know what I mean? I'm still gonna provide for this date. She didn't even have to say that, but there's something I've brought to the table. You know what I mean?
But can you pick up one?
When you're meeting somebody's expectations without them asking, I think that's a problem too, because
that's assuming, right?
That's a path. So when you don't meet the expectation, that's unmet expectation. Well, you were doing everything else right. You know what I mean? How do you don't know this? I'm like, well, I was just getting lucky. You know what I mean? So
because that's the thing. How can you meet a person's expectation when you don't even know them? That's the thing people don't realize. Like, how can I meet you? You never told me. I don't know what your expectations are.
You're playing your game. You know what I mean? Yeah. Me as a man, this is what I bring. You know what I mean? And since they're satisfied with what you bring, they assume that you'll be satisfied with what they bring naturally. But I got different expectations. You know what I mean? And it's so hard, especially when you like somebody sometimes, to say, hey, I want more of this, or I don't like this. This makes me feel uncomfortable. Setting those boundaries like early, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not, it's kind of like, everything is so fun, but I gotta say, I don't like it, or I really like that. Can I have some more of it? I like words of encouragement. I like,
Yeah.
whatever your love language is,
But yeah, man. I was gonna ask you about some players I had just thought about, forgot that fast. But yeah, man. So you still think Dayton can prepare you for marriage though? Before we go about it, you still think so?
Yeah, I mean, well, my process, is different. Like I want to, it's like kind of interview, recruiting, things like that. Um, I don't want to. I think a lot of people vilify dating. You know what I mean? It's like some sinful worldly act that we're doing, but that goes. It's a part of my courtship. Meeting you because I don't, I meet you, I see you in Walmart, I gotta approach you, and I kind of conversate with you, you know what I mean?
I don't think it's the dating though. I don't think it's the dating. I just think it's the having sex before marriage. It convolutes things. I
Yeah,
think that's what the problem is. I think that's the part that's vilified. I don't think the dating is vilified. I think that's the part that's vilified. Because a lot of times, man, you do it and you plan the actions like you're married, then you realize you're not. You like realize how much time was wasted. Yeah.
and then your feelings, your feelings,
Yeah.
your expectations, you know what I mean, and it feels wrong. You feel really hurt, and then if you did things the right way, you could avoided that hurt. But and that's also thing like the magical fix, right? You know what I mean? So you date somebody for 2 years, don't have sex with them until you get married, and then expect your sexual chemistry to be on point. Expect your sex drives to match some magical way. You know what I mean? And
But
then
it didn't do that. It didn't do that when you was dating. You had to work into that though, right?
I mean, no. I mean, I didn't have we were dating for 2 years, didn't have sex.
No, I'm saying, but I'm talking about like when you're dating, you have sex. You still have to work on it though, right?
Yeah, but then you can see like, well, this ain't working out. Like we don't have chemistry. We don't like if you have sex.
God. That's the bailout. That's easy. That's
okay, I'm bailing
one
out.
of the best plays. See, you sound like an NFL owner. See, you sound like an NFL. That's what NFL owners say. We brought him in for the practice to workout. We brought him into the practice squad. He didn't quite run the 40 that we wanted. He did everything good. He just didn't quite run the 40 that we wanted. So now we're gonna have to.
Okay. So when do you get divorced? Like so.
I'm not getting divorced. I ain't no.
Not you. I mean, like when does a person like okay, we just gonna keep like this, sex is terrible. It's not what we thought. We have sex once every 3 months, and it's terrible. This person doesn't believe in showering or birth control, whatever the thing is. Y'all can't really get it, but like, so you're gonna like, did God ordain you to live unhappy with this man that has erectile dysfunction, or this woman that has a weird sex drive? So that's God's will for you to not have sex for the rest of your life, or have sex once a year for the rest of your life?
What do the vows say when you at the altar?
Now, I mean, okay, but what if you don't feel those things? Like, like your body is because no. Your body is supposed to become your wife's, right? And your wife's body is supposed to become yours or whatever. And you're not supposed to deny your husband and wife, blah, blah, blah. But what if you don't feel that? You read the words, but you don't feel them. Every time that man come in the room, it's like a molester. Like he's going to touch you, or he's going to kiss you, or he's going to hug you, and you be like, ugh. Or every time your wife put on a bun, you want to throw up in your mouth. Like, how long do you supposed to deal with it? I mean, I don't know.
You see, that's so okay. Two things. The vows based on feelings?
So no, they're not. So I agree with you. So we go with the vows, even though we don't feel like it. You know what I mean? We got the Sahara Desert down there.
Okay.
And we gonna call our boy with the jelly to come figure this problem out. You know what I mean? I don't know. Hey, I don't know how long you're supposed to deal with it.
But that's the thing, right? Vows are not based on feelings, and that's the difference between dating. Because dating, you can bail out. Marriage, you got to work through it. You got to figure out how to work through it. You got to
But
figure out
how
how do
long?
you work through it.
So, 5 years?
You said what?
How long? 5 years? 6, 17 years?
Once again, vows in the Bible, it don't have terms on. We put terms on stuff.
No. So are you telling me God doesn't care about your feelings?
I'm not saying that, but
I
the
mean,
thing is, you have to factor your feelings in before you go down the aisle and say the vows. You got to factor it in.
But you thought, you know what I mean? The sex was gonna be
Once,
like Snow White.
See, this is the thing about marriage people don't understand. This is what I'm trying to tell you. When you cross over and you say the vows and you cross over, you got to give.
You said you were supposed to work this out before marriage.
No, I'm saying even in marriage, there are things when you're dealing with another person, you committed to them, you're gonna have to work through. That's what I'm saying. Even when you're married, dating, you don't have to work through those kind of things.
But like, so how long you gonna work through the sandpaper?
You said what?
How long you gonna work through the sandpaper? I mean, it's
like playing Tetris. I mean, it's like playing Tetris, man. How do you got to make it fit, bro? You got to figure it out.
I mean, hey, look.
I'm telling you. I'm just saying. You give me. I'm telling you, it's a hard level of Tetris. Everybody.
But you're telling me, I don't feel this. God doesn't care about my feelings, or He cares, but the word is
I'm not clear. A big feeling person though. I'm more of a logical person. I'm not the big feeling, because now, if you go off feeling, I mean your feelings change.
Guess what? Exactly. So I'm not a necessarily feeling person either. But you're marrying a woman that I'm marrying a woman. I mean, you married a woman as well. But,
I know what you say. I know what you say.
But and she feels like different. You know what I mean? And she knows the word, but you know, she doesn't feel.
See what he said right here? Being equally yoked is real.
How do you figure that out?
Now here's the thing about here's the thing about leadership, right?
Oh, so you're gonna lead? You gonna lead her to witness? Okay.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. Leadership. You have to figure out what is the root of the issue. Sometimes people don't want to do that because there's a lot of work involved. And you may find out stuff that you don't want to know when you get into the root of an issue.
Yeah, I mean,
and when you're equally yoked with somebody, if you see two ox on the yoke together, the old ox is a little bit stronger, even though the young ox trying to go to the side, it can't because it can't move the yoke because the old ox keeping everything in line.
You know, I understand that. So sometimes, and it's the thing with being equally yoked. Sometimes you're spiritually on the same page, financially on the same page. You know what I mean?
It takes work to be on the same page, and it takes work.
No, I mean like when it equal, like some things really come natural. We're same religion, same spiritual. Now it just lined up. You know what I mean? Because you wouldn't be with each other if you didn't. Some stuff just line up. Some stuff you got to work a little harder on. But we've been working on the same issue for 7 years.
But see, here's the thing, though.
Therapy and everything.
Can you get to the why, though? That's the part. And sometimes it may take time. Sometimes people don't want to tell you the why. But you got to be able to get to the why. Like, why? Like, why is it that you don't want to forgive? I'm not trying to judge them, but I'm just saying, like, as a leader guy, how do you get to the why, to the root of the issue? Like, what's the root? You can see the tree, but the root may go so deep.
But a lot of people think when you get to that why and you get to that end of the road and you open that treasure chest with the why in it, sometimes that why isn't pleasant or an acceptable thing. This is the end. This is the root. We dug it up. This is unacceptable.
What's unacceptable?
Whatever the root is, what's like, whatever caused the issue or whatever. You know what I mean? Sometimes
the thing that I had to learn, I'm just saying for me, I had to learn is everybody processes stuff differently. You know what I'm saying? My wife don't process stuff the same way that I do. So I had to understand, how to talk to her in a way where it makes sense, but we can be on the same page and work it out without it, being some kind of atomic bomb about to go off. You know what I'm saying? So that's the learning part about marriage that you won't do. And I know I didn't do it dating anyway, but you have to learn that kind of.
And I think sometimes in marriage, you just got to live in your unhappiness and know that the unhappiness is a part of the process. Being frustrated every day is a part of the process until you get where you're going. And I mean, hopefully it'll be all right, so
I don't see.
you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that in dating. You know what I mean? If you're unhappy with dating, I think you need to leave.
I think happiness is like what is your happiness, or a person, not you, but I'm saying a person happiness based on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and happiness is a feeling anyway too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we don't live in feelings.
Yeah, more about consistency and being consistent. But yeah, man, I like this discussion though, man. You know what we're trying to get to, man. Trying to find it on camera, man. But God, this is what we do. We don't hate each other. This is what we do. We debate about this kind of stuff all day. This is what we do. I think this is the first time we probably did it on camera, but this is the kind of stuff we do. We're gonna be laughing at each other later. It's pretty funny.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, man, because I was thinking about that though. I was like, do dating prepare you for marriage? I'm glad to hear your perspective. I was like, dating prepare you for marriage? Like, I don't think you do, but it seems like it would be more successful. Marriage would be more successful if dating prepared you for marriage too. It just seems like it would be way more successful. But I don't know.
I think people, when you get, married to us, people don't take it as seriously as they're supposed to. It's just an extension and something. It's another thing that you can get out of. But I'm not trying to be in front of my friends, family, grandma, grandpa, and just diss the person in 2 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think sometimes though the role, it depends on the people's mindset, like the roles and stuff like that. Like, if you do you want this dude to lead you? Are you going to follow this dude's leadership? You know what I'm saying? Or do you understand what you're dealing with? Because sometimes you can marry the wrong husband and you're not realizing like he was like this when you met him. You know what I'm saying? Just marriage probably wasn't gonna change that trait. A person traits ain't gonna really change. You know what I'm saying? Person natural traits and some tangible things you got to understand. That's why you got to identify those traits before you start, thinking about marriage. But I don't know. Like you think about like Gabrielle Union.
Like, her house messy. I don't like. She put the toilet paper on the sink and don't put it on the roll, and that still you married her, and it's still frustrating you 10 years later. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like my wife
said that. That's pretty honest. I ain't think she'll tell you that, but women's bodies are complex and emotional states dictate reactions. Emotion is the root cause of many issues for women. Wow, that's pretty okay.
So, but like exactly. So, is she supposed to swallow her emotions and well, the word said I got to do this. I'm going to do this, even though my emotions don't feel this way. You know what I mean? He's presenting this medicine too harshly for me to accept, and I'm supposed to just take it because he's my whatever, you know what I mean, my leader, my things. I'm supposed to, submit to him. He's providing, he's protecting, he's a good father, this and that, but I don't feel this way. You know what I mean? So my feelings don't matter, you know what I mean, in this point, or her feelings don't matter at this point. And I mean, that's the thing, you know what I mean? And being a man, we're task oriented or logic oriented. Well, I check this box, this box, this box. I need this box. I need you to give me this box because I checked all of these boxes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like I say, woman, like sometimes we got emotional men. The woman say, I check this box, check this box. You need to be doing what you need to be doing. But like you said, you're not as emotional. Feelings really don't matter when it comes to the word. Feelings change.
My feelings anyway, it don't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but you know what I mean? It's two people. You know what I mean? In a marriage, you know what I mean? I'm taking this whole thing logically, and she's taking it emotionally. And I'm saying you're duty bound to do this or that. The word said you're supposed to do this and that for me if I do this and that for you. And it's like, well, I feel like this transactional. Well, your feelings are null and void. God didn't take in consideration your feelings when you took these vows. And I think it's a lot more complex. Um, and it's just something you kind of grow into, you know what I mean? Whether you're dating and find out, you know what I mean? That's
sure.
cheating and that's a shortcut.
Yeah.
Trying to find that out. So, I mean, if I knew it, I would tell you. I don't know the answer to the
I don't
question.
know it. I'm just saying from our perspectives, I guess.
I don't know if you're supposed to have, well, you're not supposed to have sex before marriage. I don't know the answer of lack of sexual chemistry in a marriage or the stresses it comes to being duty bound physically, or like, your man won't work or your wife won't work. You know what I mean? Like, how do you get your wife to go to work? You know what I mean?
Right.
Or how do you get your husband to get up off his butt and go to work? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but see, you can build chemistry though when you first get married. I mean, my thing with dating, you can build that when you get married. You just both of y'all have to understand that, you have to build that. Like I said, a lot of stuff is really in your mind, man. It's all about your mind, so how you condition your mind. You can create an unrealistic mindset from dating, depending on how you date, your method of dating. You can create
okay, so your past expectations for your taste that you developed for dating got your marriage expectations unrealistic. Or you can never have sex in your life or physical intimacy, and then you can think it's going to be all grand. Then you get married and it's not, you know what I mean? The birds didn't chirp.
And that's called
you didn't see the bright
being unrealistic.
But you don't know you're being unrealistic because you've never had sex. Only thing you have is this expectation. And then now you got Jake the Snake. You know what I mean? What you can't do anything because you're not supposed to have sex, but have assumptions about what your wedding night is gonna be like, you know what I mean? And being, you know what I mean, Bob the Builder just come breaking down doors, and it's like, well, this is not what Cinderella described, you know what I mean?
And I think this was things like that is, you would hope that somebody have like somebody around them that could counsel them to kind of get them reined in. Like I said, I don't think you could be totally prepared for living with another person that you committed to, but there's some things somebody give you pointers to kind of get you pointed in the right direction. But it's still gonna take those two people to kind of work to be on the same page on how they solve problems and stuff like that. Because everybody's different, you know what I'm saying, as far as things, problems and stuff you're gonna have. So
yeah, I can, I would, like approach the problem logically. Hey, Wednesday night gonna be practice night. We know this is a time we're gonna set out for each other. Well, I don't like being on the schedule. We have to put time aside for us to do whatever we're gonna do to try to feel
patience, right?
Yeah, and exactly. So you got to
so you don't have to be patient. You don't have to be patient when you're dating. You're like, you don't want to be on a schedule, okay? But
you don't have
when you're married to somebody,
you don't have to be. You don't have to be any. Like, God gives us free will. You don't have to be anything on anything.
But if you want to be successful, you have to be some things. You want to be successful.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
No, the same thing in dating. You don't have to do nothing. But if you want that relationship to work, whether it's dating, courtship, marriage, matter of fact, with your kids, because you don't have to take care of your kids. But if you want to love them and they want them to be healthy, productive members of society, possibly get into heaven, you're going to have to do some things. You don't have to do anything.
Right.
But we want results, but we don't want conflict. We don't want work. We don't want struggle. We don't want adversity. But we want, these benefits and those rewards and things like that.
Yeah.
Because some people I've heard some people, I've been good all my life. I deserve a little freedom. I deserve to sin now.
All right. Go to that tank. Maybe I deserve.
I'm listening to people say this, Christian people, I've been good so long, I deserve to let my heart light. Sin is some type of reward. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? When I get to heaven, it's gonna be some kind of orgy or something like what? Like sin is the best of the best in your mind. You know what I mean? God is keeping you away from sin.
Well, he
God
sound
is
like
keeping you away
he
from
sound like
reward.
Vampire in Brooklyn, man. He sound like
You know what
Vampire
I
in
mean?
Brooklyn
He
right now.
love is good.
He sound like Vampire.
Hey, if you will be a real good Christian, one day you'll be able to sin too. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah.
But man, I'm gonna let you. I think I held you a long time. We went over a little time, but
It's all good. Well, we're gonna link back up, man. Talk about on the podcast, man.
for sure.
Had to get you on here, man, because I know you was tied up last time. So I was like, I'm gonna mess with him when he come on here, man. So, but yeah, let us know in the comments, guys, what you think about this, man. Once again, this was just a conversation, a debate, but we kind of like Skip and Shannon. I don't know which one which. I don't know who won which make a change either day. But yeah, guys, we had to talk about that, man, because sometimes life can be related to sports. I got you, Jermaine. I got you, man. I got you. My wife said in the beginning of our marriage, my emotions clashed with my husband's logic, caused significant issues. However, through our efforts to love each other the way God loves us, our marriage has greatly improved. Thanks, Bishop and First Lady. That is true.
Well, thank you again, Ashley, for your transparency on
But
that.
I think for me, I had to talk to her and tell her how I think, though. What is my logic, though? And I think that's why I didn't do good first time we got married. I had to really I'm thinking this. This is what I'm thinking. A, B, C, D. This is what I'm thinking. And at first, it do sound kind of weird to talk to a 30-year-old and he's telling you he's coming at you from like a foresight kind of perspective. You think somebody older would come at you like that, you know what I'm saying? So, I had to think about that. Like, yeah, that is a little weird. I need to tell her how I'm thinking. So that communication piece, man, is real, man. You know what I'm saying?
And another thing too, and he's been my friend for a long time, so I know how he thinks and how he communicates. So I don't take anything he says personally. I'm just like kind of really see only the message, not his delivery, and I don't question where he's coming from. So when you have understanding people around you, when he got his wife, he would imagine, oh, she thinks and she knows where I'm coming from, and it's like that's not the case. He had to go back and explain that to her, like this is where I'm coming from. This and what I'm thinking. I don't mean to be rude or disrespectful. So I had to do the same thing early in my marriage as well, because I just say stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I think me talking right now is very censored and kind of confined.
Both of them, I think, is very.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I'm like, you're my wife. I'm talking to you the most direct way I think I can get my point across. And I'm talking to other people that she cares about, maybe a little too rough or dry, or I said something, and she had to say, "Hey, well, I understand where you were coming from, but my friends don't, or my friends or my family don't respond to people talking like this." I'm like, "Well, was I disrespectful? No, but you told the truth in a aggressive way. You know what I mean, or maybe too aggressive. You know what I mean?"
Yeah.
So, But thanks again, Ashley, for that.
Yeah, but guys, let us know if you enjoyed this conversation, and we'll do it next time on our podcast. So, but yeah, we're finna get ready to sign out this thing because I know it's 9. I don't know how you feeling, but I know I'm getting sleepy, man. So,
what?
But
yeah,
we
definitely here like this.
But yeah, man, definitely, man. We're gonna bring the young bull, Whiteout Tremel on here, man. He said invite him next time, man.
For sure, brother.
Get the young bull on here. But yeah, guys, we finna sign out, man. Like, share, subscribe. Anything you want to say before we sign out, bro?
No.
All right, guys, we are signing out.